mentioned several times in previous videos, I need to sort through my nonfiction books, and I need your help to do it. My nonfiction has been spread out throughout my house, and I didn't have enough bookshelf space. And, you know, obviously I came to the conclusion that I have too many books. No bookshelf space. And I've talked about, and I'm not sure if this is going to happen, but in the interest of decluttering and downsizing potentially, I need to go through my nonfiction. I feel like I've done pretty good going through my fiction. So we're going to keep going with the nonfiction. I'll link below the other book stacks I've done with the nonfiction so far. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. The goal is to unhaul some of these books that I'm no longer interested in. Let's jump in. There's actually 3 stacks in front of me, and I'm going to go fast because, yeah, if you can't tell, it's health is bad, but let's go through books because that makes me feel better, and we need to unhaul. First is Louisa May Alcott, The Woman Behind Little Women by Harriet Reisen. This is just a biography on Louisa May Alcott, which I am interested in. This was, I think, my mom's book, honestly. This is A Step Further by Johnny Erickson Tata and Steve Estes. Johnny Erickson, I don't think she was married yet. She is now Johnny Erickson Tata. She had a diving accident when she was in her teens and sustained a spinal cord injury. She became a quadriplegic, and this is her story through her recovery and coming at it through her faith in God. It really tested her faith in God to be so young and struggling just to do, she really couldn't do anything for herself after her accident. And A Checklist Manifesto, How to Get Things Right by Atul Gawande. He wrote, what was the one he wrote? Being Mortal, is that his? That I have read. And I would like to read his other work as well. This is The Message, Solo Women's Devotional. This was a devotional that I saw at a thrift store that I thought I would try. Using the text from The Message, which was done by Eugene Peterson, that I like. I have The Third Rainbow Girl, The Long Life of a Double Murder in Appalachia by Emma Copley Eisenberg. I saw this, heard this talked about on some podcasts and wanted to read that. I just loved this cover. So this is Incidental Inventions by Elena Ferrante, illustrations by Andrea Ucini, and translated from the Italian by Anne Goldstein. These are some essays that Elena Ferrante did a column, and the illustrations are beautiful. This whole collection is beautiful. Yeah, I would really like to read this one. So it goes from 2018 to 2019. These were originally published over the course of 2018 in The Guardian. So the stacks are not staying in stacks. So this is Olivia Lang. I've read some of this one. This is The Lonely City, Adventures in the Art of Being Alone. A beautiful meandering of a book by Hanya Yanagihara. Just talks about moving to New York City in her mid-30s. She found herself inhabiting loneliness on a daily basis. Increasingly fascinated by this most shameful of experiences, she began to explore Lonely City by way of art. And then this one is Funny Weather, Art in an Emergency. Basically a case for why art matters, especially in the turbulent political weather of the 21st century. She profiles Jean-Michel Basquiat, Georgia O'Keeffe, reads Maggie Nelson and Sally Rooney, writes love letters to David Bowie and Freddie Mercury, and explores loneliness and technology, women and alcohol, and the body. So of the two, I'm more interested in Funny Weather, but I'm going to keep them both. That's not helping my unhaul. All right, so then we have Outright, The Speeches That Shaped the LGBTQ Literary Culture. It's edited by Julie R. Enzer and Elena Gross. And their speeches by Judy Grahn, Allen Ginsberg, Sarah Schulman, Essex Hemphill, Susan Griffin, Pat Khalifa, John Preston, Marina Romo Carmona. Let's see if there's others that... Okay, we also have Faith Unraveled, How a Girl Who Knew All the Answers Learned to Ask Questions by Rachel Held Evans. I haven't read anything by Rachel Held Evans, and I've read about her when she passed away, and am very interested in her books. I want to read them more in order because I think that they show kind of her, from what I understand, it shows some more of her questioning of her faith, and I think some of the similar things that I've researched as well in my faith. This is Uncommon Ground, Living Faithfully in a World of Difference, by Timothy Keller and John Anazu. And this is essays. We have a theme on this pile. Essays by Christians who are talking about kind of the world today and how there's lack of agreement about the purpose of our country and the nature of the common good, and even the meaning of human flourishing. I've mentioned here that I really do enjoy Timothy Keller's way of writing about Christianity, and I would like to read his complete library. This is In the Shadow of Polio, A Personal and Social History by Catherine Black. Yeah, so it's a moving personal account of the epidemic that shaped a generation. I think I've mentioned on here that I have relatives that were impacted by polio. Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb. I am a counselor by training, and this interested me for obvious reasons. Friendaholic, Confessions of a Friendship Addict by Elizabeth Day. Pretty sure I heard about this from Simon at Savage Reads. And it's a beautiful book, beautiful cover. Purple's my favorite color, and it is very purple. And I love it. But I would like to read that one. Have a Little Faith, A True Story by Mitch Albom. An 8-year journey between two worlds, two men, two faiths, two communities. I've read Tuesdays with Morrie many, many years ago. I think probably when it first came out. This is, he gets an unusual request. An 82-year-old rabbi from his hometown, or his old home, his own hometown, asks him to deliver his eulogy. Feeling unworthy, he insists on understanding the man better, which throws him back into a world of faith he'd left years ago. So going back to his home in Detroit. The Dirty Life by Kristen Kimball, a memoir of farming, food, and love. They moved from New York City to a farm on an impulse. That may be one I could part with. I've owned it for a while and I've just never reached for it. But this is What Comes Next and How to Like It by Abigail Thomas, author of A Three Dog Life. I read A Three Dog Life and really liked it. It's about Abigail Thomas's the death of her husband in New York City. The circumstances of his death were really tragic, and just kind of how she moved on from that. And then this is the one that came next, her memoir that came next. From reading the back, it's her best friend of 35 years falls in love with her daughter. Interesting. And what comes next from that? I'm moving you closer because I feel like I'm yelling, and when I don't feel good, yelling is probably not the best idea. But anyway, this is the autobiography of Alice B. Toklas by Gertrude Stein. When I did my senior project in undergrad, we did it on memoir, and surprise. And a classmate of mine did hers on Gertrude Stein and a couple of her works, and this was the autobiography of Alice B. Toklas, who was her partner. I've wanted to read it since that class, which was so long ago. I wrote mine on the Diary of Alice James. Change a little bit. This is Aging, the Fulfillment of Life by Henry J.M. Nouwen and Walter J. Gaffney. I got this when my mom was with me. I really do like Henry J.M. Nouwen's writing. It's typically faith-based, and this is talking about thoughts on what aging means and can mean to all of us. After taking care of my mom, just wanting to know more about reframing our social discourse on aging and getting older, that it's a gift to be able to get older. Not everybody gets that opportunity. So a writer I liked on a topic I was interested in, so we'll read those. These two I've read. This is another devotional that I really liked. Come Away, My Beloved by Francis J. Roberts. And then The Prodigal God, Recovering the Heart of the Christian Faith, another Timothy Keller book that I really enjoyed. I've also read this, The Walls Protocol, A Radical New Way to Treat All Chronic Autoimmune Conditions Using Paleo Principles by Terry Walls. Terry Walls was a doctor who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and she did her own research, and she went from needing I forget what they call it, but to lay the wheelchairs that allow her to lay down pretty much. And now she's back to biking, and this kind of talks about her experience, but also some of the principles, the science behind it. Another health related book. This is Accessing the Healing Power of the Vagus Nerve. I've heard both pronunciations. Self-help exercises for anxiety, depression, trauma, and autism by Stanley Rosenberg. This is work related, doing further research on this kind of treatment. Then we have No Happy Endings by Nora McInerney. She is the host of Terrible, Thanks for Asking. She had a miscarriage, lost her husband and her father all within a very short span of time, and she's written several books on grief and widowhood, and if you listen to her podcast, follow her on social media, she really just gets to the heart of grief and holds no punches, but she's also very funny. So I highly recommend checking her out. This is a book I saw promoted on Esme Wei-Jung Wong's social media. She wrote an essay in this. This is Dog-Hearted, Essays on Our Fierce and Familiar Companions, edited by Rowan Hiseo Buchanan and Jessica J. Lee. This is essays on dogs and their relationship. There's, as I mentioned, Esme Wei-Jung Wong, who wrote the schizophrenia journals. No, I can't. I love the book she wrote, The Collected Schizophrenias. It has essays from the editors. It has, let's see, Nina Mignon Powell's, Nell Stevens, Evie Wild. I want to read this. Having just lost a dog, I don't think now is the greatest time, but I may take this with me. I'm going to do some traveling over the holidays, and this I don't know. When's an appropriate time to read about dogs when you've lost a dog? This is Small Scale Homesteading, a sustainable guide to gardening, keeping chickens, maple sugaring, preserving the harvest, and more. I do not want to keep chickens. That is not the goal with this, but I do. Most of the spaces that I have are small and rented and my energy is limited, so I was doing some research into growing some of my own food. This is Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. It was a National Book Award winner. I started this. It's told in verse. It's a memoir told in verse, and started it, really loved it, and then got distracted. So that's kind of the story of my life. This is Isabel Allende's Paula. And it's a memoir about her daughter who became ill and fell into a coma. I've read her fiction before. I've not read her nonfiction. I also have more of her fiction on my TBR. but I have enjoyed her writing. This is Called Out of Darkness, A Spiritual Confession by Anne Rice. She was raised in New Orleans as a devout child of a deeply religious Irish Catholic family. She describes as she grew up, she lost her belief in God, but not her desire for a meaningful life. And it talks about how she used her writing to kind of wrestle through some of that spiritual questioning in her life. This is Alfred and Emily by Doris Lessing, the winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. The first half is kind of a fictional account of her parents, and then the second half is kind of the real story. Essays by E.B. White. Again, essays. E.B. White, Who Loved Dogs. Yes. Korea, A New History of South and North by Victor D. Cha and Ramon Pacheco Pardo. So this came out in 2023. This was a book I pre-ordered or bought the day it came out. I remember because I'm very interested in Korea and Korea's history. Some of my favorite books, Pachinko, a greater look at the relationship between the South and North Korea and the history of that. So I have Seabiscuit by Laura Hillenbrand. So this one I've had for a long time, and I'm not sure. I think this copy is, the writing is really small. I may unhaul this and listen to the audiobook. I think that may be the way to go with this. If y'all have read it, let me know. Do you think doing the audiobook on Seabiscuit is the right way to go? Tell me. This is Virginia Woolf, Women and Writing. These are some of Virginia Woolf's essays on women and writing and women in writing. Look at that great font. It's big. I like that. I've read parts of it, and apparently I dog-eared a page. I do have some memory of this. Virginia Woolf, her writing is hard for me. And I have to take my time with it. Yeah, I'm not ready for her to be an author I give up on, because what I have read, I've enjoyed. Her writing just doesn't flow well for me when I'm reading. So any insight on Virginia Woolf, let me know. And then the last one in these triple pile, it seems like, is Angela's Ashes, A Memoir of a Childhood by Frank McCourt. I can't believe I've never read this. And I've had it on my shelf for a long time. I was late to the game back when it came out. So yeah, this might be another one. I'll probably hold on to this copy, but this might be another one that's better on audio. What do you think? Have you listened to it on audio? Well, let me know. Any of these, have you read them? Do you recommend them? Any that you say, Michelle, just get rid of it. And any that you've listened to on audiobook that you think would be enjoyable on audio as well. Thanks for hanging out. Hopper says thank you too. Right, Hopper? He says thanks for watching my playtime. Stay tuned. We've got a little bit more, not a lot, just a little bit more of nonfiction stacks to go through. And I think we will be done in November, because I think I'm only going to do one more video. I can't guarantee that I've showed you every single nonfiction book I have in my house because I don't know. I tried to keep the stacks organized as to which ones I had gone over, but I've also, you know, sorted in the middle of the night because I do that sometimes. But I think I've unhauled maybe 1-2 books from here. This isn't good. I need to unhaul more. So help me out. Let me know, which ones do you think I should part ways with? It could mean I listen to them on audio, like I said. When I got a lot of these, I was not listening to audiobooks. Also, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know that you're here. And I will see you very soon. Have a great day. Bye.